This is The Roman Show.
Right, Rodolfo Roman of The Roman Show here in South Beach with Mr. Campbell of Combate Americas. Thank you so much again for coming to beautiful Miami. It doesn't feel like I'm working, Campbell.
I know. You don't have to thank me for doing this, by the way. I'm very happy to come down here. I have to remind everyone back in New York that I am working. This is work. We may be sitting in a beautiful garden at the W, but this is still work.
Absolutely. Well, Campbell, let's talk about 2016 was great for Combate Americas, 2017 beyond. I mean, we're expecting a lot of things, but I want to talk real briefly about what happened today. You reached out to a fighter, Davison Ribeiro, who suffered a very, very scary injury inside the cage in September here in Miami. He broke his leg, and he reached out. Actually, he posted something on social media about how he got the $60,000 bill and he didn't have enough funds to pay for it, and you extended your hand and helped him out. How did this happen? How did it come along?
Well, again, you've got to sort of thank social media in a way. We have a new president that I think got elected because of Twitter. So, you know, the power of social media is strong. I saw the article. It seemed very wrong to me, Rodolfo. It seemed like, as a promoter, I'm putting up guys, men and women, to fight, and if they are injured, what is essentially, we're doing this for entertainment, right? I know fighters fight for honor, and they fight for a lot of reasons, but essentially, as a promoter, you're having people put on entertainment. And the fact that he was injured so badly and had such little insurance coverage, I just thought that was really wrong. And I'm not out to beat up on any particular promotion. That's not the point. But when I saw that, I knew I wanted to do a couple things. One, I wanted to help, and help means financially help. So, you know, we gave him, you know, a decent amount of money, and came in with our partners, Espira Mas, which is a very big insurance company. So obviously they know what it's like to have someone be uninsured. It's catastrophic, right? Here this guy's fighting and trying to build his career and trying to entertain the public, and he faces something which could very well put him into bankruptcy. So it seemed very wrong. So I wanted to fix that. I also want to take this as a chance to look at what Combate does. I had our team go back in and look at all our insurance coverage. We compared it to what the different states' commissions are requiring. We wanted to make sure we had more than the minimums. I don't want this happening to one of our fighters. And I got to say, you know, again, I'm not out to go after any other promotion, but I think as a sport, as a promoter, as someone that takes this business very seriously, as someone that may literally have created this business, I think we all need to look at ourselves and make sure this won't happen to any other fighter again.
Well, Campbell, I'd like to get your opinion because towards the end of the year, Bjorn Rebney, the former president of Bellator, and him and Ong aligned himself with some other fighters who happen to be in the UFC, and they created this association to help out. For instances like this won't happen, for they can help. What are your thoughts on that? And is this association or this union going to work if it does happen?
Well, you know, Bjorn and the union or the alliance or the Lollipop Guild or whatever the fuck it is, you know, I think they're misplaced in their energies and their focus. Instead of trying to cash in on the UFC, I think people should really take a look at how can we make fighters' lives a little better. And I think a proposal to make sure every fighter has adequate health insurance is the way to go, not trying to figure out how to stick the UFC for some cash. You know, and, you know, I'm sorry if I offend when I say that, but I feel very strongly about that. Figure out what you're doing, not what somebody else should be doing, right? I'm not up here to lecture anyone, really. I'm up here to make sure Combate takes care of its fighters. And I urge everybody to do the same.
Well, 2017 starts off with a bang. January 19, you got a great event in Mexico City. It's the first time Combate America visits Mexico. What can we expect? Is this just one of many events taking place in Mexico and in Latin America?
Well, you know, of course, we partnered with TV Azteca. And Elisa Salinas there is a huge MMA fan. Also, you know, she's very chingon herself. You know, she's a Muay Thai fighter, TV executive, TV producer, and loves the fight. So she's a great partner. So this is just the beginning. This is certainly not a one-time event. Mexico City is a dynamic, very great place to visit. The altitude's a little tough. It's tough on me, and I'm not even fighting. I'm just down there talking. But this kicks off a series of things for us. We're going to do Mexico City in February. Mexico City in January, LA in February. And then from there, we're looking to go weekly every Thursday. So I don't think any other fight promotion's doing anything weekly. And the way we've set up the TV, soon to be announced. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but Combate Americas will be seen live in every country in North and South America. And, of course, Fight Pass in English and Azteca America here in the U.S. in Spanish.
Well, obviously, Combate Americas has a long list of upcoming fighters, prospects that are just amazing. Any of these guys that you're taking a look at, or women, that you say, that girl or that guy is going to be the next thing to hit it big?
Yeah, I mean, really, the focus of Combate is finding the person to hit it big next. So it's a lot of what we look for. I think the best fighters in the world at this stage are under contract to the UFC. And that's just what I think. So what I'm looking for is this year, next year, the best fighters in the world that we discover. And I think we've done a pretty good job with that. And Nick de Lee Rivera is going to be fighting in Mexico City. She is awesome, studies with Misha Tate. Absolutely exciting fighter. And, of course, Gustavo Lopez, who's done very well with us, is fighting Steve Swanson, who's Cub Swanson's brother and also a great fighter. So I think the card in Mexico City is going to be awesome. And people say, Campbell, do you have to be Hispanic, or do you have to be Spanish, or do you have to be Mexican to fight for Combate? And I say, no, you just have to fight like a Mexican, which means you're going to go in there and be, someone that's going to go toe-to-toe and really fight and, just be. There's a great Mexican expression. It's fajador. And a fajador is someone, it means a makeout artist. It's a guy that grabs a girl and blah, 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 blah. So for a fighter to be a fajador, you got to get in there and go toe-to-toe and fight like the great Mexican boxers did. So, the UFC is one style of MMA. Right? It's a great style. It's world-class athletes, but it comes out of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and college wrestling. And our martial art in Combate Americas really is boxing, boxeo. So what you see in Combate is you see more finishes, not just my opinion, actually a statistical fact. More finishes in Combate, and I think more exciting fights and more fajadors that get in there and go toe-to-toe.
You mentioned Donald Trump was very active on Twitter, but you yourself, sir, are very active on Twitter. In fact, I've been seeing a lot of folks that reach out to you, hey, how can I get on your card? How can these fighters get on your card if they're interested in participating in one of the upcoming fight cards?
Well, we really are looking for fighters. So, you take an established organization like the UFC, they're spending a lot of time keeping fighters out, right? They want to set it up so you can't get in. And at Combate, we're really happy to hear from people. I'm not always sure I'm the best person to contact. Mel Valenzuela, Mike Aframowitz, who helped start Strikeforce with Scott Coker, Eduardo Vargas, who's Gil Melendez's cousin, all work for me, and they're all actively looking for fighters. I try to respond to everybody on Twitter, even to people that say, you're a moron. That's okay, too. It's just, nice to have the contact. And like President-elect Trump, it's a great way to talk directly to people. I don't have a focus group. I don't have a team of Twitter folks researching what I should say. In fact, I kind of horrify people sometimes in what I do say. But at Campbell Combate, it's a great Twitter handle to follow because Hoyce and Lorenzo Fertitta, retired now, Ken Shamrock, all the old guys, we're all on there, and sometimes we'll get into an argument about the old days, which is also fun. So I love Twitter, and I try to respond to everybody.
And we can check you out writing in Spanish.
Absolutely.
Campbell, thank you so very much. Looking forward to a successful 27. Thank you so much.
Okay.
This is The Roman Show.